this lecture series, we are discussing about the job costing. In the first part of my discussion on the job costing, we discussed the theoretical dimensions of the job costing. That is, how the accounts are being prepared, how the cost is being calculated in the job costing, right? In today's lecture, in this lecture, I'll be talking about the practical dimensions of the job costing. That in a business-like situation, if certain expenses are being incurred in a business, how you will prepare the cost of that job order or that job, right? So this is the point of discussion in this very lecture. Let's start straight with the examples so that we can find out how the cost is being calculated in the job costing. Because the theoretical dimensions we have already discussed in the previous discussion on the job costing. So if in a business, like if it is this in a situation in a business, the following expenses have been incurred. The following direct costs are incurred on job number 1, 2, 3 of a company. Means any job number. If you recollect, in our theoretical dimension, in our theoretical discussion, I said the moment you accept an order, a job number is being allotted to that job. So this is job number 1, 2, 3 of a company where the following expenses have been incurred. Like material cost is 4,010 rupees. The business has incurred for performing this job, material has been incurred to the extent of 4,010 rupees. And this job passes through 3 different departments: Department A, Department B, Department C. And in each of the department, there are certain number of hours that are being put by the workers of these departments. So like say for example, in this business, Department A, 60 hours have been put and the rate of the labor is 3 rupees per hour, right? Department B, 40 hours at the rate of rupees 2 per hour, right? And Department C, 20 hours at the rate of rupees 5 per hour. What it means is that the job that is being undertaken, in this job, it has passed through 3 departments and these are the number of hours, and this rate, the labor rates are being given. Overhead expenses for these 3 departments were estimated as, right? That is variable overheads, Department A, 5,000 for 5,000 labor hours. These are the variable overheads. What it means is, if I say 5,000 for 5,000 labor hours, that is the overhead expenses are rupees 5,000, labor hours are 5,000. So it implies that the rate is 1 rupee per hour, because the overheads are being, how you calculate the overhead rate? Overhead rate is nothing but the overhead expenses divided by the base. Base in our example here is labor hours. So labor hours are 5,000 rupees, so 5,000 hours, and the cost is 5,000 rupees. So per hour comes to be 1 rupee. Similarly, in the Department B, the overhead expenses are rupees 3,000 and the labor hours are 1,500 labor hours. So what it implies is that labor hour rate in the Department B is, the overhead rate is, variable overhead rate is rupees 2 per labor hour. In Department C, it is 2,000 for 500 labor hours. It means that the overhead rate is 4 rupees per labor hour. That is, if a labor works, when I say per hour means, if a worker work for 1 hour in the Department C, the cost of the worker is rupees 4. Friends, intentionally we have taken a very small figures so that calculations remain easy, and it is easy to us to remember these figures and remember to recapitulate. And then you have a fixed overhead estimated rupees 20,000 for 10,000 normal working hours. It is being estimated that in this business, for a particular period for which we are preparing this cost, right, 20,000 rupees is the fixed overheads, and normal working hours in this business is 10,000 normal working hours in a period of time. So what it means is that fixed overhead rate will be 2 rupees per hour, since the overhead divided by the working hours. So overhead are 20,000, working hours are 10,000. So 20,000 divided by 10,000 comes to be rupees 2. So in this way you can calculate per hour fixed overhead rate. So these are the facts, these are the expenses that have been incurred, right? On the basis of this, you are required to calculate cost of this job. In our example, it is job number 1, 2, 3, and calculate the price to give profit of 25% on selling price. See, here you note that selling price is not given. It only says that the profit must be to the businesses that whatever the price you quote, you must earn 25% profit on that selling price, right? So we'll have to find out what the selling price is, and then we'll calculate the profit figure. So now let's solve this problem. Solve this problem in the sense that if these are the facts, that how the cost sheet will be prepared, right? How the job cost sheet will be prepared, right? So this is not the perform of the job sheet. Basically, we are calculating the cost aspects. As you note here, that the very first expenses is direct material, which is directly given in the question. That direct material is here, right? Here is given direct material. Sorry, I'm missing it. Sorry, direct material is this much, 4,000. Yes, this is 4,010 rupees. So this is direct material cost. Direct material cost is 4,010 rupees. So from this I have taken direct material cost. Direct material cost. Then I'm cutting it. Sorry, something wrong here. Yes, direct material cost is 4,010 rupees. Then you have wages. The number of hours that is being put is being given here. Department A 60 hours. This is being given in a question. In an example is given that in Department A 60 hours at the rate of rupees 3. So 180 rupees. Department B, for this job 40 hours have been spent in Department B. The rate is rupees 2. It comes to be 80 rupees. And in Department C, it is 20 hours that has been spent for performing this work, and the rate is 5 rupees per hour, right? So 100 rupees is the wages expenses. So it means that the 360 rupees worth of labor has been spent on this job, on completing this job. So each department, the number of hours are being given, the rate we have already calculated while discussing about the question, right? So in this way, labor cost is being calculated. And then comes the third expense is called variable overheads. The overhead cost is given, the base is given. So in Department A, this work has performed for 60 hours and the rates are 5,000 divided by 5,000. That is 5,000 hours, and the overhead cost, total overhead cost is 5,000. So rate is 1 rupee per hour. So 60 hours multiplied by 1 rupee comes to be 60 rupees. For Department B, we had already calculated the rate is rupees 2 per hour, that is 3,000 divided by 1,500, it comes to be 80 rupees. For Department C, the rate is 4 rupees per hour, so it comes to be 80 rupees, because in Department C 20 hours have been spent. So 20 hours multiplied by 4, it comes to be 80 rupees. So the variable overheads are 80 plus 80 plus 60 comes to be 220. So you have calculated the cost of material, you have calculated the cost of wages. For performing this, you have calculated the variable overhead cost. Now comes the fixed overheads, right? So fixed overheads, since in this example you are being given that the fixed overhead rate is 2 rupees per hour, right? So since 2 rupees per hour is the overhead fixed overhead rate, which I had just told you how we calculated while talking about this example question, right? So in this business, for this work, that 60 hours have been spent in first department, A department, 40 in B and 20 in C, it means 120 hours have been spent for performing this job, right? So 120 multiplied by 2 rupees, which is the fixed overhead rate, that comes to be 240 for fixed overhead rate. See, I am not charging the total fixed overhead here, because I am charging only proportionately fixed overhead, because this business must be performing work on various jobs, right? So we will calculate the cost of the job as per the number of hours spent on this very job only. So 240 rupees worth of fixed overheads have been shown here. So in this way you calculate the total cost, that comes to be the 4,830 rupees. So you have taken the direct material cost, wages cost, the variable overheads and the fixed overhead. So these are the four components of the cost that have been incurred for performing this job. There are three different departments. The rate we have calculated by seeing our questions, by making simple calculations, right. In this way we come to know that 4,830 rupees is the total cost involved. And this question also says that the profit should be 25% on the selling price which you quote. The moment I say 25% profit on selling price, your quotation price, what it means is, if you calculate it arithmetically, it will come to be 33.33, 33 and 1/3% on the cost, right. So cost aspect we know, because we do not know the selling price, we have to calculate the profit on the basis of the cost which we have calculated. So 33% of the cost we will add in as profit. So 33 and 1/3% of this comes to be 1,610, right. So your selling price is 6,440. Friends, I'll again advise you that whenever in a examination like situation you are faced with a practical question, you must read it very thoroughly. What I experience is that over a period of time, that normally students in order to quickly finish the question, right, sometimes they misread the question. It is very important to read the question properly, right. So it says, the question says that it should be 25% profit on selling price. The student in a hurry may read it 25% profit on cost. It is not profit on cost, it is on selling price, right. So you calculate the profit on the selling price, that is, if I say 25% profit on selling price, what it implies that if you calculate it, right, 33 and 1/3% on the cost, right. So this way your selling price, the price which you will quote for this order, or the selling price should be 6,440 rupees. Supposing you have quoted 6,000 rupees, it means your profit will be less by 440 rupees. You will not be able to earn 1,000. If you have quoted say more figure, your profit will be more, right. So if you want to earn 25% profit on selling price, then the 6,440 is the right quotation price, is the right price. So this way we prepare the job cost sheet. Now let's take one more example. We'll take a few examples so that more and more clarity comes to you. Like a factory uses job costing, the following information is available or is obtained in respect of job 1, 2, 3. Again, I have taken the same job number 1, 2, 3, right. You may say any job number, but is here we have taken 1, 2, 3. Direct material 10,000 rupees, direct wages 1,800 rupees, means these are the direct expenses, right. Machine hour worked on machine A 1,200 hours, right, and on machine B it's 100 hours. So this work, this job has worked in the machine, on machine A 1,200 hours, and on machine B it has worked only 100 hours. MHR means machine hour rate, right. See, for overheads there is always a rate, because overhead divided by the basis, that is called overhead rate, right. So machine hour rate for machine A and B are rupees 2 and 3 respectively. See, what do you mean by machine hour rate of rupees 2 and 3 respectively? What it means is that if in department A machine will work for 1 hour, right, so the labor charges will be, or the charges will be rupees 2, not labor charges, charges will be rupees 2. Means if a machine work for 1 hour, 2 rupees are the expenses that is being incurred, right. If the machine hour rate for machine B is 3 rupees, what it means is that if a machine works for 3 hours, B machine, right, the cost is rupees 3 per hour, right. So machine hour rate for machine A and B are rupees 2 and 3 respectively. It depends on number of hours that is being spent on A. Like in our example, on machine A, this job has worked for 1,200 hours. So I'll simply multiply by 2 rupees to 1,200 hours. That comes to be 2,400 rupees for machine A cost, right? And for machine B, it works for only 100 hours. So 100 multiplied by 3, 300 rupees is the machine cost for performing this job, right. So machine hour rate for machine A and B are 2 and 3 respectively. materials worth rupees 500 were returned to store after the completion of the job. Noted here that 10,000 rupees worth of material was being issued, out of which 500 rupees worth of material is being returned back. It means it remains unutilized and the job has returned this store. So, what is the material used for this work is only 9,500. So, material worth rupees 500 were returned to store after the completion of the job. Administrative overheads used to be 40% of the work's cost. So, whatever the factory cost is, 40% of it is administrative cost. But on account of all round increase in the cost, means there must have been some inflation that has taken place, there has been a 50% rise is the administrative overheads. What this example says that overhead expenses are this 40%, right? Administrative overheads are 40% of the works cost, of the factory cost. But due to increase in all round expenses, there is a 50% rise is the administrative overheads. So, we will calculate it on the basis of increased price, right. Selling and overheads are recorded at 25%, 20% on cost of production. So, these are the rates which are being given at which we have to charge administrative overheads, at which we have to charge selling and distribution overheads. Find out, so it means these are the facts. On the basis of these facts, we have to find out the cost of the job and what should be the price of the job if the factory intends to earn a profit of 25% on price quoted. Again, like in my previous example, right, there also we have taken the profit of X percentage on the selling price, price quoted. You may call it a selling price, you may call it a price quoted, right. So, on the basis of the cost, if you will calculate here in the example, we do not know what is the selling price, we have to find out. So, the profit will be calculated at a particular percentage of cost that will be calculated, right. So, on the basis of this, if these are the facts, how you will prepare the cost sheet, how you will prepare the cost statement, and how you will come to know what is the profit figure. Let us find out, right. As you know, the very simple part is you just note down that it is already directly given in the question. Direct material worth 10,000 rupees is being issued, 500 rupees is the return, had been returned back after the completion of the job. So, 9,500 rupees is the cost of the material that has been used on this job. Friends, in your practical questions, in your examination, right, each point has a mark, right. Suppose it is a 20 marks question or a 10 marks question, whatever the question marks are, right. For each step there are certain marks that are being allocated, they are being assigned. So, each step is very important, right. So, whatever the correct part you do, even if your answer is not 100% correct, but you get marks for each of the step which you perform, which you do it correctly. So, this is very important that you keep the question, keep your answers, do it very meticulously, so that there is no calculation error in the question. So, direct material 10,000 minus 500 which has been returned to the store after completing the work, 9,500. Your direct wages is given in your example that 1,800 rupees worth of direct wages had been used. So, there is no direct expenses that is being given in this example. So, the sum total of direct material, direct wages and direct expenses is called prime cost. Here, since direct expenses are not being given, so the sum total of material and labor is your prime cost. So, 9,500 plus 1,800 comes to be 11,300, that is your prime cost. In the prime cost, you add up the works overheads, right. So, works overhead is already given that in the machine A, the rate is 2 rupees per hour, is given in your question, or you may say in our example, and for this job 1200 hours have been spent. So, 1200 multiplied by 2, 2400. On machine B, this job has worked 100 hours on machine B. So, 100 hours into 3 rupees per hour, right. So, it comes to be 300. So, 2700 rupees is the machine cost, right. So, that 2700 you have noted down. So, the sum total of the prime cost and the machine cost, works overhead cost is called works cost. So, your works cost come to be 14,000 rupees. And the next step if you recollect while discussing about the cost sheet, is to find out cost of production. So in the works cost, if you add up the administrative overheads, you get cost of production. So in this example, we are given that the administrative overheads is 40% of works cost, but because of increase in the overall price level, it has gone up by 50%. So I will simply say 14,000 rupees is the works cost multiplied by 40% into multiplied by 150%. That is, since if it is a 50% increase, I may say 150 by 100. So 14,000 into 40 by 100 and 150 by into 150 by 100. That comes to be 8,400. So again I am saying, cautioning you that when you calculate administrative overheads, don't calculate directly 40%. Since it is a 50% increase, so you take 150% of that, 150 into divide by 100, right? So this comes to be 8,400 rupees. So your cost of production is, in the works cost, when you add up administrative overhead, what you get is cost of production, 22,400. And in the cost of production, when you add selling overheads, right, there is no distribution overhead, there is only selling overheads. In our example, it is given that selling overhead is 20% of cost of production. So cost of production is 22,400, you add up 20%, that comes to be 4,480. Your cost of sales is 26,880, right? So in this way we have prepared the job cost sheet. Now the most important thing, or a very important thing I would say, is find out the selling price, right? The question says the company wants to earn, the business wants to earn 25% profits on the selling price quoted, right? So what should be the price of selling price? What should be the quoted price? If it says 25% of selling price, what it automatically implies is that 33 and 1/3% of the cost price, right? So if you will calculate it mathematically, you will be able to find out very easily. So on this cost of sales we know, cost of selling price, selling price we do not know. So on cost of sales, if you add up 33 and 1/3%, right? So if you calculate 33 and 1/3% of 26,880, it comes to be 8,950, right? So this is your profit element, and you add the profit element in your cost of production, that comes to be a selling price. Your selling price is 35,840 rupees. So in this way you prepare the cost sheet. In the remaining time, let's discuss very quickly one more example, so that we can have a more clarity about the how you prepare the job cost sheet, or how you prepare the costing under the job costing. So the following information for the year ending 31st December 2019, means any year which is given in an example, is obtained from the books and records of the company. Completed job number, right? Completed jobs, rupees, that this is the cost incurred on the completed job, and work in progress. Raw materials supplied from stores, 88,000, 32,000. You are being given wages, 1 lakh rupees, 40,000 rupees. Chargeable expenses, 10,000 rupees and 4,000 rupees. Chargeable expenses are nothing but the expenses, you may call it. Material returned to store, 1,000, right? It is under completed jobs. So there are two different headings, completed jobs and work in progress. So we will prepare the account of both these separately. Factory overheads are 80% of wages. Office overheads are 25% of factory cost, and selling and distribution overheads are 10% of cost of production. If you note here, all these examples which we have discussed, which we are discussing today, broadly I would say there are 3-4 expenses. Material cost, labor cost and the direct expenses, that constitutes prime cost. Then you have works overhead, which we call it factory overheads, right? And then you have the office overheads, the indirect material labor expenses that takes place in the office, and finally you have selling overheads, right? So these are the broad components of the cost. On the base of this, you are required to prepare work in progress ledger control account and completed job ledger control account and cost of sales account. So I'll deal this completed job ledger account and the cost of sales account under one heading, because it is more or less a repetition. I'll explain you how you prepare it, right? So let's take first how you prepare the consolidated work in progress account. See, there are debit side and the credit side. If you prepare in accounting form, so credit side I've intentionally taken, I'm not equalizing it because of the space constraints here, right? So on the debit side, if you note down the debit side, raw material consumed is given, it is of work in progress, because in your example you are being given separately work in progress and completed jobs account. So I'll be preparing the two separately, work in progress separately and completed job separately, right? So this is work in progress account. Raw material is given, chargeable expense again is given 40,000, factory overheads 80% of wages, and whatever our wages are 32, wages are 80% of wages comes to be 4,000 rupees, right? That comes to be 40,000, 32,000, because wages are 40,000, so 80% of 40,000 comes to be 32,000 rupees, right? So factory overheads are 40% of wages, 32,000 rupees. Factory cost is again given 1,08,000 rupees. Administrative overheads are given as 25% of the factory cost. So if you calculate 25% of factory cost, 25% of 1,08,000 comes to be 27,000. So this is your total cost of work in progress, that comes to be 1,35,000. You note here that selling and distribution overhead I have not taken, because selling and distribution overhead has not been charged to the work in progress, that will be charged to the completed job account, right? So this way on the credit side I will show 1,35,000 rupees, right? So this way you can prepare work in progress account. Similarly, you can prepare consolidated completed job account, right? So raw material consumed 87,000 rupees is given in our example, right? Out of this, that material worth 1,000 rupees is being returned, that is consumed is 88,000, 1,000 is returned. So the total material used is 87,000. Wages is 1 lakh rupees, chargeable expenses is 10,000 rupees. Again all this is given in an example, right? I am completing the debit side first. So factory overheads 80,000 rupees, factory cost. So if you add up all this, that is you add up this material cost, the wages cost, chargeable expenses, this comes to be 80,000 rupees is the sum total of all this, where is factory overheads, right? Then you add factory cost is, if you add up all these factory overheads comes to be 2,77,000, and then in the factory cost you add up administrative overheads. Administrative overheads is given that this is being charged at a particular percentage, which is basically the percentage that is being calculated. Here you see, you can see in your example that your administrative overheads are, factory overheads are 80% of wages, office overheads are 25% of factory cost, right? Office overhead or administrative overheads are same thing. So you calculate 25% of factory cost, that comes to be your administrative overheads, right? So this is your basically the administrative overheads is 69,250, which is 25%. So you add up administrative overheads, you get cost of production. Cost of production is 3,46,250, and in the cost of production you add selling and distribution overheads, which is in our example is 34,625, right? So you 8%, that comes to be cost of sales. And finally, on the basis of cost of sales you can find out the profit figure, because 4,10,000 rupees is your selling price, so the difference of the two is your profit, that is 21,125, right? So in this way, friends, you can find out the different how you prepare the job cost sheet, right? So this topic I would say is quite a simple topic, and if you recollect in our earlier discussion we discussed job cost sheet. So if you prepare the preparing of the job cost sheet thoroughly, you will able to find out the job cost in your example, in your questions, in your examination business situation. You will able to find out easily the profit on a particular job. Thank you very much.